Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about clinical symptoms and management of mercury. So hydrogram is nothing but hydrogram indicates mercury. So when we have excess level of mercury in our body, then we call it as mercury poisoning or hydrogram. So mercury, it is also called as quicksilver or liquid silver with an atomic number of 80 and the atomic weight of 200.59. So it is an elemental metal. At a room temperature it will be liquid in state, and a solid metal, it can be like a mirror. It has a mirror appearance and we can cut it very easily. It is very malleable. And the most important mercurous salt is mercurous chloride, and the mercury, it is coming under the class of transition metal. Coming to the fatal dose of mercury, it is 100 grams, which will cause the death of a person, and the mercury chloride is 0.5 to 1 gram per 70 kgs, whereas mercurous chloride 1.5 to 2 gram per 70 kgs will lead to the death of a person. Coming to the uses and sources of mercury. So mercury can be obtained from the fluorescent mercury bulbs. It is used in the latex paint or the building materials. To extract the gold also we use mercury. In the dental amalgams, and when a person is having the consumption of certain types of fish like shellfish or marine mammals, the dietary exposure of mercury will happen. And the occupations like mercury vapors in the mining or processing of cinnamon bar. In the image you can see a image over there, cinnamon bar ore. Coming to toxicokinetics of mercury, the absorption of the mercury will be slow when they are taken by ingestion, whereas the absorption from the inhalation route is very fast. It easily enters into the bloodstream, and both organic and inorganic mercurials can be easily absorbed by the intact skin. Once this mercury enters into our body, it gets converted to mercuric ions in the blood. So these mercuric ions may cause the toxic effect on the kidneys when they are being excreted. Apart from that, they also have the effect on our CNS. So it acts upon the cerebellum, temporal lobe, basal ganglia and corpus callosum, and it causes toxic effects. Mechanism of toxicity. How the mercury is causing toxic effects on our body. So these mercury ions, they have a capacity to cause the toxic effect by the protein precipitation, inhibition of the enzyme action, and generalized corrosive action. So how they are causing these actions is they will go and bind to the sulfhydryl groups, phosphoryl groups, carboxyl groups, amide and amine groups. By binding to these groups, they will develop hemolysis, breakdown of our blood cells, and they will damage the CNS. And all these proteins are readily available to bind with this mercury. And once they are bind with the mercury, they will become inactive. So I have mentioned a generalized mechanism. When the mercury is binding to sulfhydryl groups, it is inactivating the enzyme. Because of that, the protein repair, oxidative damage will happen. The response is being decreased and the prevention process are being decreased. Thereby, they will have the damage to the CNS. Coming to the clinical features, which is nothing but the symptoms during the mercury poisoning. So it may be varied for the normal organic mercurials and inorganic mercurials and normal elemental mercury. So first we will discuss about elemental mercury and inorganic salts. So during the elemental mercury and inorganic salts, the first case is acute poisoning. So when a person inhales this mercury, they may develop dyspnea, difficulty in the breathing, cough, fever, headache, disturbances in the GI tract, chills, metallic taste, blurring of the vision, stomatitis, nothing but infection through the mouth, sore mouth will be happening, and swelling of the salivary glands and gingivitis, infection or inflammation for the gums. So because of this, they may develop loosening of the teeth or gum inflammation, etc. In the severe cases, they may develop pulmonary edema, dyspnea and convulsions. When a person ingestion, nothing but taken through the mouth, so they may take small amount of mercury accidentally, nothing will happen, but when they take the batteries which may contain the mercury, it may develop abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea and shock. So the acute poisoning of the mercurials when they are taken by the injection. So the subcutaneous or IM injection, intramuscular injection of elemental mercury may develop the abscess formation, like small pampule or pimple like formation, which results in the ulceration. Because of that, from this pampule or the abscess, they will be having the extrusion outcome of the mercury droplets. When the mercury is given by IV route, it may result in mercurialism, and the symptoms include thrombophlebitis. Thrombophlebitis is a condition where we have blockade of any vein in any part of the body. Granuloma formation and pulmonary embolism. Granule formation, granuloma is nothing but pulmonary embolism. Pulmonary indicates respiratory tract. Embolism, embol means clot. So certain artery of the pulmonary tract will be having a clot, that is pulmonary embolism. And repeated hemoptysis. Hemoptysis is a condition when a person cough, the blood will be oozing out. So blood coughing, or when a person cough, the blood is oozing out, that is hemoptysis. Coming to chronic poisoning condition, when a person has been inhaled the mercury, there may a common symptom is tremors. So these tremors, first they start with a normal jerky movement, which is called as Danbury tremors, and slowly they will progress to the Hatter's shake. This Hatter's shake, it will be so severe that they can't do their daily activities like holding a glass, pen, shaving, writing, holding a spoon. All these day-to-day activities will become very problematic because of this excess of tremors. And this tremors, the severe condition may result in the conscious mercurialis. Conscious mercurialis is a condition where after being exposed to the mercury after many years also, they may have certain conditions of this tremors. So that is conscious mercurialis. Apart from that, they may develop ataxia, lack of voluntary coordination, Parkinson syndrome, metallic taste, anorexia, loss of appetite, nausea, increased production of saliva, gingivitis, infection to the gums, halitosis, bad odor, blue lines on the gums. We have seen for the previous lead and the arsenic also, Bertollian's lines, earthism, nothing but excess of shyness, mercuria lentis, a brown pigmentation color formation will be happen on the capsid, so that but it will not affect the vision of that particular person. Coming to chronic ingestion of this mercury, it may lead to colitis, infection or inflammation to the colon, melanosis, coli, dementia, tremors, renal failure, and acrodynia, which is a pink disease. You can see the strawberry tongue and development of pinkishness of the body, that is acrodynia. Coming to the poisoning with the organic mercurials, it may develop the CNS disorders like dysarthria, difficulty in speaking, ataxia, involuntary movement, like nothing but difficulty in the voluntary coordination. Paresthesia is nothing but development of burning sensation in the hands or feet. Neuropathies, weakness of the neurons, and decreased auditory and visual activity with mental deterioration and chorea. Chorea is nothing but involuntary movements. Ataxia, decreased voluntary coordination. And Minamata disease. Minamata disease is nothing but when a person have excess of mercury poisoning condition, this Minamata disease will be happening. This will have the numbness of hands, feet, weakness of the muscles, and the vision may be decreased, and they may have a problem in hearing and speech. Coming to the overall features of mercury poisoning, we can see over here mercury Y, so it indicates Y all diseases like Minamata Bay disease, acrodynia, phenchromocytoma, nothing but excess of adrenaline production from the adrenal glands, hydrargyrism, excess of chronic condition of poisoning of mercury, ptyalism is nothing but excess of salivation, we have seen in the previous slide, erythism is nothing but excess of shyness, strawberry tongue, we have seen an image, and Danbury shakes, nothing but intentional tremors. Coming to the diagnosis of mercury poisoning, we can detect the mercury poisoning by performing an X-ray, by checking the mercury levels in the blood. If it is more than 5 microgram per 100 ml, it indicates the mercury poisoning. Whereas in the urine mercury levels, if the mercury levels in the urine is more than 20 to 100 mcg per 100 ml, it indicates mercury poisoning. Whereas we can do the hair analysis, deposition of the mercury in the hair also can be identified. We can do the cold vapor atomic absorption spectroscopy when it is being deposited in the hair. So now coming to the treatment with the mercury poisoning, we will start with the treatment for the acute poisoning condition. When a person has been inhaled the mercury, then we can give the supportive measures and chelation. For a detailed explanation on supportive measures, look on to my video on general principles of toxicity. Coming to the ingestion, when a person take the mercury by the oral route, we can give them laxatives, demulcents, and we can do the stomach wash. When a person has been given an injection of this mercury and have poisoning, then we have to check their CNS and renal functions. We have to give the activated charcoal for absorption therapy, and we can start the chelation therapy. Coming to the treatment, when a person has been taken the organic mercurials, we have to provide them the supportive measures. Chelation therapy is not effective in this case. If the kidneys are not functioning properly, we can do hemodialysis, hemofiltration or plasma exchange. So that hemodialysis and hemofiltration, they will do the filtration, nothing but removal of the toxic substances from the blood and addition of the required nutrients. And the hemoperfusion is not effective in this case. Next, coming to the chronic poisoning condition, we can do the chelation therapy. Chelating agent is the one which goes and binds with the toxin and makes it inactive and remove them. We can use BAL, British anti-leukicide, DMPS and DMSA, they are not available in India, and penicillamine. All this in different doses we have mentioned here, you can go through that. So chelation therapy, we can use the chelating agents for the treatment of chronic poisoning and by providing the supportive measures. Going on to the autopsy features. So when a person is being dead because of the mercury poisoning, we can see the mouth, throat and esophagus and stomach will appear grayish in color, and there will be superficial corrosion with softening of that particular parts, and there may be the hemorrhagic points where the blood is oozing out. And if a person is survived for few days after this mercury poisoning, we can see the large intestine may have ulceration. The kidneys will be pale, swollen. They may develop edema of the renal cortex. If we do the microscopic study, we can see the necrotic changes in the renal tubules.